Welcome back to another episode of BurgCraft. So I have been sick and slowly dying, and I still probably sound like a pretty low energy. But the cool thing about, once again, the neurodivergent experience is that I've been still singularly focused on wanting to have progress in this world. I've wanted to keep doing stuff. I've had ideas for projects. I just haven't been able to talk or do anything because that just took too much energy. So that's why there was the special where the Ender Dragon died, and I worked off camera, not off camera, just not talking about it on a couple of projects while I was sick. I just put on the flashback mod and made a couple things. So I'm gonna cut to that real quick, and then we'll talk about what was made. So first up, I needed a very simple automatic sugarcane farm to just build up the amount that I needed to start the bigger farm that comes later in the episode. Now this is as simple as it gets. I'll show how it works later on in the episode. One thing that did happen that I made next was a slime farm, but I accidentally paused the recording on flashback and never unpaused it. So this is it. This is all the slime farm footage. After that, I made a mob farm out in the desert. This was quite a big undertaking, but I needed gunpowder. This is me falling into a classic pitfall of working in the desert where the whole machine collapses. So that's not ideal. We can see me just sort of bathing in the stupidity, but there we are. This is the a design by Potato Noir. Very effective, very awesome, big fan of it. Very expensive, so it took a really long amount of time to put this together, and it is gigantic, but very, very effective. It collects just so much stuff, more stuff than I possibly need. And I don't have much more to say about it until we actually get up to close to looking at it, but the time lapse is still going, so I'm gonna just keep talking and oh, it's over. So the first thing that was created, this is a slime farm. It is a nondescript black box, but let's just go up to the AFK spot. It should be nighttime, so this should work generally speaking, but we'll go up here just to get it working, and we'll free cam the way down. This is just a swamp-based slime farm. I think the original design, it's bits of other slime farms I've seen around. So Ilmango and Frunocraft. Oh, already starting. Those videos will be in the description as always. So this is a 2-layer one. Basically, the slimes can spawn on either of these platforms. They see the iron golem, they'll be like, hey, I don't like you, and they come out here, they fall down, they just go forward, fall into the magma blocks, which does the original bits of damage, and then any small ones that get left get killed in the soul campfire there. The strange orientation of posts and fences is to make sure that there is still line of sight on the top level, but also I had a problem where the slimes would jump and land on the little chamber here and kill the iron golem. So I did some modifications until he didn't take any damage and he could just sit there vibing. So that soul campfire goes into some hoppers, and here is an autocrafter. You can't really get a good look of how this looks because I have it covered in dirt. But this is a 1-wide tileable autocrafter for single ingredient recipes, which I really, really enjoy using, by Brandon Henness, which is also going to be, the video for that's going to be in the description. So the slime balls collected into the hoppers, they go into this crafter, and when it gets full, it will, we'll see this in a second, boop, takes a slime block, pumps it out into these chests over here. And that's it. And you just stand up here. Standing up at this height is because mobs only spawn within 128 blocks of the player. This makes it where I'm standing, so the only spawnable spaces are inside the large black box. And I'm an AFKing here just only a little bit, but it's pretty good. It's not the most efficient slime farm that exists. There are the because it came down, don't worry about that. Because you can do oozing based ones. These also work better with like there's other ones that involve slime chunks and perimeters. But this is a nice simple one. I like simple because, you know, you just stand in a place. You get slime blocks. I emptied this very recently and took a bunch of slime blocks home. That's why it is empty. But that's just how it is. Nice and simple. You can make them bigger. You can make these things bigger. You can make them a couple more platforms wider. But for my purposes, for now, this will do. If we get into any more severe slimestone projects, then maybe that will change. I made this portal to the nether roof. And I messed up the linking, and this portal's on a tree. I decided to keep it this way. Now the other project is out this way. This is a mob farm designed by the originals are based off of Nembomb, but then this design is from Potato Noir. If you're familiar with the last series of BurgCraft, this is literally the exact same one that I made. It is identical in every way, but we'll go show it off. Wait for the area to load. I need to get a portal out this way too, but, you know. Because this is still a little bit far. I just forgot to do that. It's out here because I wanted a place, because generally speaking, mob farms work better lower to the ground. The best mob farms are better like in perimeters underground, but this is the next best thing. And here we are. So, all right. So this is it. This is the item collection area with some item filters. I wanted to make this because I needed the gunpowder, and this makes just so much of everything. You make a little bit of redstone. Why a desert? Deserts, they don't spawn zombies. So, well, they don't spawn as many zombies. So the rotten flesh that comes from this is largely reduced. But that means that there's more creepers, there's more skeletons, there's more everything other than zombies. So we built that, and get this just working. It has, I'll show this off. I'll get the same premise here. On 128 blocks up, so that only mobs can spawn in the farm. It has this really cool boat clock. This boat clock is a set timer that activates the system down below. Now, what this is, actually, because this is dark, but I have cheats. It's actually incredibly dark under here, but I just have the Tweakaroo Gamma override on so we can actually see what's happening. There's just a bunch of platforms where mobs can spawn. And then every once in a while, they get flushed off. They go into this larger flushing area, down this hole, and die down here. Now, the magma cubes are because sometimes the longer you're here, the mobs start getting armor. And some of it has feather falling on it, so they survive. So that's just to kill them. And then all the items just slowly come on up here and get deposited here. Anything I don't want can just goes there. But this it's like synchronized. So like this boat, when it hits that pressure plate, sends the water out for a set amount of time. And when it goes off, the water gets pushed away so that mobs can come back. And that's synchronized with this one here. The same boat clock, boat goes around, hits this pressure plate here, which flushes the drops over. And it's timed and synchronized perfectly so that this water will be gone by the time that the mobs start falling down. It is a little bit scary when you're down here, though. But it makes so much stuff that I was only here for like a couple hours, and I'm basically good for gunpowder for the foreseeable future. I mean, well, just for a little bit. But I also need to get a portal out here, and that'll be good. Now, the main goal for today, in terms of farmable things, is we've already got these two things. I need more farms. I need even more farms. What way is home? This way. I need... Well, I have the gunpowder for these rockets for my newfangled wings, but I don't have a reliable source of paper to make the rockets. So that's incoming. That's going to be next. It's a sugarcane farm. This guy from the village just came up here. He's never returned. He's really thriving up here. Oh, I gotta turn that gamma thing off. That's just like really hard on my brain in any other context. There's a hotkey for it. I haven't set it. I don't like using it because it's free night vision. But if it's for content so that you can actually see what the fuck is happening, then yeah. Now for sugarcane, I have made this temporary machine. Now this is as simple as it gets for an automatic sugarcane farm. There's sugarcane in there. When it gets up to the level of the observer goes on, powers the pistons. Pistons shoot out and break it. There's a bunch of hoppers under there, and they go into these chests. It is not quick. I've just kind of been standing here, and it's just been like slowly building up, but I just need enough to start the massive project. Which it's gonna be time to start now, I guess. Well, so this is all going to be based on this collection system here. Goal being that the growing platform is going to be one block above here, and a minecart's going to go under it. It's something I've showcased before, a little design by Ilmango. Basically what this does is it takes a hopper minecart. Once it's full, it hits here, it completely evaporates. All of the drops end up here. The minecart goes in and then is redispensed. So we don't have to wait for the minecart to unload, it just goes. And this will go in a circle. Every time the minecart runs into here, it breaks. That's when all the drops come out, and it gets redispensed. And if we wanted to, we can just power that, and that'll stop it from going on. We can send this out when we want to. We can hook this up to the flying machines that are going to go pick up all of our sugarcane. So I just got to build this a dozen or so times. Feels good. Right, these are all the loading and unloading stations all set up. I'm going for this length, for this width, just because I think it will be easier to get the storage in. And in the future, I want there to be a bridge here, over there. This would be the roads, the building would be here, and then, you know, B building and, you know, everything like that. I'm trying to think of future infrastructure. And this will be plenty wide for my purposes. So now it's time to lay the entirety of the track and the ground. So that's going to be super tedious. Wow, I guess it's time for more flashbacking. Woo! So this time lapse includes just the part I also just showed off. But I do like building these because it's actually quite simple and I can put the blocks down pretty quick. You can see me putting in the water. There is more efficient ways to put water. I don't know it. This is fine. That's good enough. building the flying machine, but while I was testing, I forgot to add glass walls. So we'll see just a bunch of sugarcane just during a test run flying just out everywhere, all over the place. And that was annoying to pick up, but now we have the glass walls, so that doesn't happen anymore. And that's it. That's all right. So the basics of it are set up. Done a couple test runs of the flying machine, make sure it all works. You can see exactly where I missed the flying machine, which is a little short. But before finishing up the last bits of wiring to make this all automatic, and then the storage, I just want to make sure that all the individual pieces up here work. So we're going to first set off the flying machine. I also want to make sure that, you know, stuff doesn't get flung out. And it comes back. Doesn't look like anything got flung out this time. This returns safely. Great. And now let's go for a quick test of the mine carts. Hit the lever. They all go. Back. And everything gets thrown out. Nice. All right, so the next steps are going to be, I like to make it so that this is turned off and on automatically, which shouldn't be too hard. Oh, I need something. I'm actually organized enough that I should get like just like a redstone specific chest. Shulker, I mean. But we'll get there. So to make it go off and on automatically, we use this, so whenever this flying machine takes off, it'll send out a signal to this. Read that signal. Temporary blocks, all right. Okay, no, I need the, all right. This comparator. I like something like this. We'll need to make sure that that is actually turned on. Turned on to start. Yeah, that powers that. I just need to get that signal onto there. So just gonna send the Minecart out now. Boop, 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 like so. Now that's turned off. There's probably a cleaner way to do this. I just don't know what it is. But you know, there's nothing wrong with an old-fashioned redstone noodle. This does the trick. Oh no, this is a mob farm. Oh shit, I'm gonna have to do something with that. I forgot. Oh god. Right. Oh, that's okay. Ooh, I'm gonna have to add lighting there. Oh, they're not burning up because they're in water. So now, if I hit this button, that will send off the flying machine. And that will activate that observer, which will turn off this copper bulb, turning off this signal, turning off all of this, which should allow the minecarts to come out. They'll go, and they'll go back and forth until it comes back, triggers again, turns off. So let's see this all work. There go the minecarts. They're still going good. Picking up as much stuff as possible. to make sure this doesn't get timed kind of weird. Okay, it's a little weird. That's one last go to make sure it's got everything. I guess that's fine. Yeah, and then it goes back in. Nice. And all the stuff ended up out here. Excellent. So this is working. Now is just the incredibly tedious task of making the water channel for this. For storage, and then a path that is more sensible to turn on than what I'm doing now. And then this will be good. Oh, the water path is going to be tedious. I actually don't know if I have enough sand even to blast through it, but we'll see what happens. I'm also fully aware that water streams do not require glass. I just like it because it looks cool and I get to see my items go, woo! Okay, sugarcane farm is completed. Everything on it is once again a little bit extra, but that seems to be the way I do things. Got enough storage chests. I've done enough testing with it being full to make sure that we don't have anything extra kind of hanging out here. This is enough to pick up all the loose items. And everything's working as intended. So let's just have a look here. Flying machine heads off. Down here we have the minecarts that come up and over. All of our stuff comes out. Flies up here. And off into the chests. Minecarts are busy just picking up everything. And flying machine comes on back. And this has been, just from doing this, basically, I've been getting just, like, a pretty good amount of sugarcane. Like, I don't have to worry about it. I just have sugarcane now. So, gunpowder's done, sugarcane's done. Oh, my mouth. Sugarcane is completed. The gunpowder is completed. We can fly around all willy-nilly as much as we want. Now there's one last project for today. My house. My little hole. It's time to improve this. I'm gonna go basically until I run out of materials, essentially. Because there are some things that are quite still expensive, but I just want this to look a little bit nicer. I'm gonna replace this. This is gonna go, because this is horrible. And then I'm gonna have to build another one at some point, a better furnace. Keep bedroom. I'm gonna replace this with an enchanting area, I think would be really good. But I'm just gonna work on this and just get it done until it's finished. So let's start that right this second. Wait, I just said until it's finished. I mean, until my materials are finished. I've run out of stuff. That's the main limiter. Because I'm extra and I like how quartz looks. I ended up doing the measurements and the amount of space was too small, so I had to expand it, including in a couple places bulldozing the hill. And that's kind of annoying, but I'll have to terraform that and hide it a little better later. You can see I'm using all the bougie materials, all the copper, which is not only annoying because it's just out of reach for me on the ground, but also this scraping and waxing of every single piece. That was kind of annoying. I've added these cool little swirly patterns on the new shelves, which I'm a giant fan of. And I wanted something a little bit warmer, so this is going to turn into a carpet. But to see the entire thing, here's the whole transformation, or at least until I ran out of materials. But this is good progress and better than the horrible rocky hole that I was stuck with for a long period of time. And here we are. This is my little hobbit hole. So what you can see out here is kind of like a basic design for a road that I'm thinking about using. I'm planning on having this sort of just go everywhere between all of the primary locations and the buildings we're gonna have in the future. So this is the hobbit hole. As you can see, as you saw in the time lapse, this dirt wall got punched through a little bit. But what I'm actually thinking is hobbit hole here, but have this to be like a solid structure going over, and have this to be like market stalls or something, where this is all kind of like cohesive. So this kind of will have a wall continuing out this way, but this is also part of this building. I'm thinking just for room concerns, I might actually make this multiple floors of villagers. So go up, because eventually I'm going to want like stonemasons, or like the stonecutter ones, which let you get like terracotta and stuff. Terracotta and quartz, blocks of quartz is a really good way to get that. So have that stacked up to this be like a market kind of thing, and there's all a building of some sort, and then like this goes over here, and there's like another look like hobbit hole kind of looking thing, which is gonna house the portal. Oh, I didn't even notice that there's. I gotta cover that up. All right. Well, so that's the goal. These guys will be moved because Percival will get a house of on. No, I can't. I was gonna say maybe I can make this Percival's house, but Percival just walks through the portal and die. No, Percival needs to be kept safe at all costs. So this is my home. It's not done. It's not done yet. There's some detailing I want to do still, but I just like this takes a lot of time, and because of just all the other projects I've been doing while sick, those have also taken a lot of time. And kind of the goal of the series too is like I want this to be streamed as well, but I don't want the progress that I make off stream to show up suddenly. Like I feel like this would be pretty jarring to see with no context without a video being like, oh yeah, I have a house now. I live here. These are kind of like the milestones in time, and then this is pretty much what I could get done, I think, in a reasonable amount of time. So, nice little entrance here. I don't really know what the theming here is. I'm thinking something like it feels futuristic, but it also doesn't at the same time. I don't know what vibe it is. I'm just gonna go with whatever looks and feels cool. So inside, I have the main room, which is kind of empty. That's gonna be a theme going forward, that this is empty, but I would like this to sort of be like a welcoming common area. Get some like furniture and doodads here and there. This carpet, I'm a big fan of. Just I was inspired by B000100. But I just really like it 'cause it just warms up the place. And the same with this lighting. Like it is kind of dark in here, but I think it actually like it's like warm dark, if that makes sense. And I'm trying to mess around with the shelves to make these like interesting patterns going down the whole thing. These are also all powered. There's redstone blocks behind all of them. I know there's easier ways to power it, but the redstone blocks. I didn't want to have a bunch of spaces and levers behind it, which doesn't matter, but that's what I did. Redstone blocks is actually one of the things I ran out of. I ran out of copper and I ran out of redstone for the shelves. That's why I stopped where I did, which is at the stairwell, which is still the same. That just goes down. You can also spot a few places where I accidentally went past, because I was just using the most oxidized version, scraping it and then waxing it, but you can see a couple places where I've made mistakes, like these ones. And there was also, I saw this. There we go. Just trying to stay vigilant. I'll get you. I'll get you. So we'll have more furniture and things, a little bit more detail. Over here, we have enchanting setup with all the necessary bookshelves. I think I should add more details here, like the grindstone and whatnot, but we'll get to that. This is the bedroom. This is where the fact that it has no details is more jarring. Like, this to me looks like a single straight white man in his 30s moved into Buckingham Palace and there was no furniture in advance. Like, it's fancy in there, but there's just a mattress. Like, if there could just be like a TV and an Xbox here, and this mattress is just on the floor, that would be even perfect. But we need to add things like end tables and stuff. This is what I could do in the amount of time that I had. But we'll be sprucing this place up with details as we go. And then this is going to go downstairs here into the storage. I don't really know how this wall is going to continue, but I'll figure that out. And that goes into the storage area here. Now, what I'm thinking is my original idea when I was like planning this place out and I was trying to like imagine in my mind's eye where stuff was, I was thinking of a big complicated storage system. I was thinking of putting it up here actually. But now that I'm like building and stuff and kind of just like seeing what I actually enjoy, I actually think I'm going to keep the storage downstairs. I'm going to make the big storage setup and just dig this out more and make it like a really fancy dungeon, I guess. I don't know what I'm going to do with these alleys in here, but I'll figure that out in time. I really like how the copper grates look, and I have blackstone in behind to try to like make it more look like a blackened, discolored, textured roof. I kind of wanted to use black concrete, but it's actually more difficult for me to get black dye than it is for me to get blackstone currently. And these are all blackstone things here in the pattern as well. But didn't run out of that. But that's going to be the detailing. And these are just junk chests. Don't mind these. So yeah, next steps in here are going to be decorated little details. Details in here for sure. Details here. And slowly starting to kind of expand this downwards. But as you can see, there is no furnace currently. My current furnace is this. I just kind of slapped them onto the wall. And that's not good. So I'm gonna need a smelter of some sort. Now the real question though is where to put smelter. Actually, you know, realistically, that also should probably be underground now I think about it. Because, like, the things that I'll be smelting are stored here. So what if there was just an extra wing that was a super smelter in one of these directions? After this investigation, I don't really know how much space I have on either side, or if I have to go down lower, because we are on top of a mountain. Eventually, we're gonna run into the. All right, we're gonna run into the water, the rivers. There is a finite amount of space on this island. Having a full subterranean area underneath this when it's built up, I think that would be kind of neat. While I've been doing all this, though, also all the other farms have been like mad producing. Like there's just so many carrots now. I have so many potatoes. And I actually realized I don't even have a villager that trades potatoes. So I need more villagers, but those are going to be stacked up. I got to figure out what I want the building to look like, I think, to make the stacking make sense. I'm not sure. I don't know what's going to happen. I'll figure it out. Maybe it ends up being in the future I actually have to move all of them and reorganize it. Who knows? Because I'm thinking, yeah, building there that's going to have villagers. This will be some kind of building. We'll have to move this guy, but you know, more buildings out in here. And I'm trying to think of the future, about the future things that I need, things that I'd like to have close by. I'm going to need... There's still more produce that I need to make farms for. Just to get better. More and more trades. I actually need to cure these villagers too. Now that I think about it. But I do need a similar contraption to this, but for bamboo. What I'm actually thinking... Right, I'm trying to think about stuff, right? I'm trying to future plan areas and districts and stuff. There's a lot of farms that are like would be useful to have nearby, right? So melons, like vegetables, animals, stuff that's like good to go while I'm just wandering around would be good around here. But the machines that I would use to do things would make sense somewhere else. So I'm actually thinking wood along this plateau over here. Build a bridge out to it. Have some wood things there, like have the bamboo farm there. That would still be loaded while I'm here, so that would be growing. Eventually, I don't need that much bamboo, but you know. But have tree stuff. I could have the other tree farms that are possible out there. That could be like lumberjack place. Oh, the cool name that doesn't suck like that one does. Oh. Why are you like this? I've actually had some problems with the honey farm, where I've had some occasional loosey-goosiness of the bottles. And I realized what the problem was. It was because these weren't filled enough. So they ended up getting backed up with honey bottles. They just went back into it. I have had a couple that have just escaped for unclear reasons, but that is how it is sometimes. But it's still working. Like, still getting honey blocks and tons of honeycomb, which is really nice. I might actually make more of it be honey blocks just for the future if I want to make doors or different types of flying machines or something like that. So yeah, just future planning, more future planning. I got to figure out what building is going to be like multi-story villager area, because I don't really want to expand it out this way, because then I don't get to have like a home that has like a feels kind of centerpiece. I don't really want to just sort of expand indefinitely out this direction, because it'd be taking down the hill and stuff. Go out this way, still taking out the hill, and I kind of do like a little bit of natural generation that I would like to kind of follow a little bit, even though this is going to be like largely terraformed for my own purposes, most likely. So next on the docket, next set of projects for the future is I have been AFKing while editing at the mob farm, but the redstone is not actually good enough. There's not enough witches, so I'm thinking witches, a witch farm. And I also need a better XP solution rather than just relying on a spawner. So head to the end for an Enderman farm. In between episodes, I think I'm going to be doing I'm going to do some designing. I'm going to do some farming for some of these materials for inside and for trying to figure out this. I want to get enough redstone so that I can make the kind of really big redstone projects that I want to make. And also, I do want to like kind of pretty up the land as much as possible. I think once I get some buildings down or some ideas for buildings, then maybe it'll be easier to plan out the roads and stuff. I do also have an idea for the roof portal. And I also did want to eventually carve this up. There's a lot of landscaping plans, so maybe also wither skeleton skull farm, so we can get some withers and get some beacons, so we can do all these. We can dig out the big hole, dig out the ground, walk about, do all sorts of things. Oh, the other reason I kind of wanted to have like storage down here is even like I even had the idea, right, of even some of these. These are going into storage collection places, but if my storage room is underneath, I could just put this directly into the storage room. Now, there's some things where maybe that doesn't necessarily make sense, like the bamboo, for example. Whenever I make that, that's going to have so much bamboo produced that it's not feasible to store it with everything else. Having its own location will actually make sense. And maybe that's going to be true for the carrots and stuff too. But I could do it like, for example, for like the bone meal here that comes up from the excess. Have that end up getting crafted into bone. When this fills up, goes into bone blocks, and that just goes directly into my storage. That could be pretty cool. So many farms, so many things to make, and the area is too ugly as well. This is the indecision. It's like I want to make farms so I can make things, but also I want to make things first without the stuff. And I want to figure out what am I going to do with this place. I want to make all this kind of look pretty. It's hard. This is the struggle. This is a struggle. But that's going to be it. This is a little bit shorter than the other episodes, but I think I'm shorter than the other episodes at this point. But yeah, this is the downside of like being sick and just trying to do stuff and still wanting to make progress while sick. But thank you for tuning in, for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, etc. Do all of the things, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.